Welcome to QSJ Radio, where we dig into the underground to uncover independent artists, creating voices and the stories that shape the music you don't hear anywhere else. I am Traffic Light, and this is Digging Up the Underground. Today we are sitting down with a band that exists somewhere in between atmosphere and emotion. A sound that feels both calculated and deeply human. Their name alone hints at complexity, the Julia Set. A reference rooted in mathematics, chaos theories, and patterns that never quite repeat the same way. The idea seems to echo in their music, layered, evolving, and textured with intention. But beyond the sound, who are they really? What drives their creative process? And what does it mean to build something intricate in the world that often rewards simplicity? Here I got Mickey Berry with me. Mickey, welcome to QSJ Radio.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure.
So Mickey is here with us, and we are so happy to have you guys here. Not only because you're an unsigned artist and you need to get your story out, because you've been doing this for a while, so you've known so much of the struggles of trying to get this off the road, off into the new world.
Yeah.
It's more of a passion now than it was a hobby when it first started. And I want to start this with the Julia Set comes from mathematics, right? Like
Yeah.
the fractals, recursion, right? Infinity, complexity. What made you choose
Yeah.
that identity, and how does that concept show up in your music?
Well, the name itself, as you pointed out, comes from a branch of mathematics. It's actually the name, the Julia Set. There's there's a lot of different variations that can be used. So back in the 17th century, there was a French mathematician called Gaston Juliard, and he patented his own equation, and he made it his own the way he does it, sort of thing. So that's where the name actually comes from, and it was one of our very first early members called Luke, who was a maths teacher. So
Wow.
you can guess where he got that from. But I mean, the infinity thing, the fractal thing going on, there's similarities and it can go in any direction. So we try and write our music that's not very samey. We like to have variety in our songwriting. I mean, quite often that is the question that gets asked a lot. What is the Julia Set? Where did the name come from? So, and very often everyone points at me and said, ask him. But yeah, it does. It does reflect that. Do you know what I mean? I never really thought about it that way, but our songwriting's got a lot of variety in it, and we try to incorporate some core values in our songwriting and keep it personal, but also keep it relatable.
Now, when people first hear your sound, and this is me, I've been doing this for a little bit, so I can tell when somebody is like, on a seriousness, like this is coming from the ground up. People hear your sound, and especially me, there's sense of like atmosphere first. All right, atmosphere before structure. How do you build your songs? Are they emotionally first or technically first?
To be honest, a lot of where it starts from is the words, is the lyrics. Me and Mike, we share most of the lyrics. Mike more than me, our bass player. So a lot of it starts from the words, from the stories. Mike will have there's so many different things he pulls from and I pull from that we write down, whether it be a small section, that's a great chorus line, or that could be a great verse sort of thing. We write it down and we build the story around it. Then that's when we bring the music into it and stuff. I'll start trying to find a melody. How can I sing that chorus? How can I sing that verse? And it builds that way. So sometimes it can come from me singing the lyrics to myself a cappella. Sometimes Simon, our guitarist, will read the words and think, okay, I've got some really good ideas. And he'll play a riff that he thinks emotionally it fits with the words, with the story. So we don't have really one specific template of how we start. We start this way every song. No, we don't. You know, it's whoever picks it up first. We've got a vault of lyrics of about 130 odd different sets of lyrics. So we've got a lot to choose from.
I definitely could understand that. You guys are definitely mature. Okay, definitely mature, and have a lot of age and things like that. We started this podcast with "Won't Back Down." What is that song about? And there's a specific reason I started it with it, but I don't think that is the same story that I have. And of course, you know, the songs are out there. They're for public interpretation anyway, right? So everybody takes it how it is.
Yeah,
but what's the story of "Won't Back Down"?
It's a very old song. We wrote that a long time ago, but we never really got around to releasing it. But I think it stems from a very independent standpoint, because there's so many things out there, that there's so many different areas that are telling you can't do this, you can't do that, you've got to conform to the norm. And it's a case of, well, no, because, you know, everyone has their idea of what's right and what's wrong. I mean, there isn't what's right and what's wrong. Generally, there's a good and bad. There's a right thing to do and a wrong thing to do. But I think for our point of view, we've been doing this for a long time, and we have so many different sides of society and friends and family and people that know us that keep saying, isn't it time you gave that up now? Do you know what I mean? You're not 20 anymore, you're not 16 anymore, you know, sort of thing. So I think that's our message to them, saying, well, I can still sing, Mike can still play bass, Simon and Tom can still play their drums and the guitars to a really good standard, as you can hear. So that's us kind of saying, as long as my body lets me do it, nothing you can say to me that I'm going to make me back down from what I want to do. So that's where that comes from. I won't back down. Doesn't matter what you say. I won't back down from what I want to do, from what we want to do as people, as musicians. So, and I think, take it, use it, whatever it's relatable in that way. It's whatever you guys interpret.
Yeah, I came to the sense that it was something to that. I thought it was extremely personal. Probably somebody who probably should shut their mouth. And you realize that, you know, I'm going to do this regardless of your opinion. It just aggravates me that someone who I thought would support me is opening their mouth in a certain way. And of course, these are the times where a lot of people are not going to back down. They're not going to back down from their opinions. They're not going to back down from a bunch of things. And it can cause a little bit of a tension. I actually woke up this morning with an energy to cause tension, which is way not but I think it does fuel a lot of creativity with that, and I think that song should be understood as like there's going to be some really close people that you thought were supporters of you that actually do not support anything that you're doing, and you need to take that and use that as leverage, as a step to move forward. And I really appreciate that song coming from you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's a tension in your music between control and chaos all the time for some reason, which is crazy because behind the scenes we talked about something that you guys tried not to represent inside of your music. And for some reason, I feel like there's like this thing where it's like there's subliminals in almost all the songs.
Possibly,
Is that the intention, or do you feel like if it doesn't feel like you're releasing something, you know, like a story, a pastime, something like that, is that part of your process in your writings?
I don't think it's consciously that way. I think these are written from a personal point of view, with the intention of the listeners. Like, for example, yourself, it allows you to have your own interpretation, regardless of what we wrote it for. You know, it gives you guys license to think, okay, this song really resonates with a certain part of my life, or it resonates with a current situation I'm going through right now. You know, regardless of what the words are or what we think it's about, we always encourage people to say, use it for whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, please don't take cues from us. Take cues from whatever your mind is telling you it's about. Do you know what I mean? So every one of our songs has got a different viewpoint. It's got a different story behind it. It's got, you know, for whatever reason, you know, there's layers to it. You know, certain parts of what we do is like, okay, is this chorus going to be really good crowd please? Is it relatable? Can the crowd follow this chorus easily and sing along to it? It can be from that simple standpoint, you know, just basically a live standpoint where people can sing this chorus alongside it. Okay. And on a personal level, from their point of view, if they want to attach this song to a memory in their life that, you know, good or bad, then it's their license to use it for whatever they wanted to in their own head. So, you know, we certainly don't promote personal viewpoints on these songs. We try and be as what's I'm looking for. We try and be as on the fence as possible. Do you know what I mean? We take opinions in.
Yeah.
We don't kind of. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Vague on purpose because, like I said, it allows the listener to interpret their own opinion on it. Do you know what I mean?
If you guys are just tuning in, we are on air here with Mickey Berry, lead frontman of the Julius Set, based out of the UK. You guys can check them out all over the place, Spotify, YouTube, a whole bunch of stuff. They've been doing this for a while now. And I would consider them to be a very, very mature band versus bands who are out there still trying to catch on to the young crowd. They're out there. I got this song here that I want to play real quick. Maybe we could talk about what it's about. And then after that, I want to talk about the forming of this band because we're almost going on 20 years of the Julius Set. And I heard a few names already of, you know, some people who are no longer with the band. So I want to talk about that little history, if that's okay. This song right here is called Finding Out. What is this song about?
Okay. That's quite a personal one, actually. Again, we tend to leave names out of these songs because we want them to be usable for other people. Like I said, to add to their own soundtrack to their own lives. But Finding Out, it's pretty much about sibling rivalry. Pretty much comes down to keeping secrets from family members and stuff. You know, when the truth and honesty should always shine through, but you know, as people find out in their lives, that never happens. There's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be things that, you know, people don't tell the whole truth to protect somebody else's emotions. But this was definitely a big point in someone's life where he was kept in the dark about things when it would have been a lot easier to keep him in the loop. And this is from that standpoint, as in, you know, you lied to me or you kept things from me sort of thing. And, you know, so there was a lot of tension based off that particular point in his life. So that's what it's about, you know, finding out actually you lied to me, you kept things from me. So, and if people can use that, you know, off their own personal experiences, you know, every family has tensions. Nothing's ever run smoothly. You know, I like to use a phrase that nothing ever perfect. So I will say imperfection is perfection. You know, it's not perfect without flaws. So that's kind of pretty much what it's about.
Shoulders, so you can't sleep. little bitter, now it's all on me. Your part in this is all but over. You crashed into my life. The wreckage left is there for all to see. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You know, you talked about that this was like sibling rivalry. And before I did this
Yeah.
this music, this thing that I was doing, this thing I'm doing now. I used to make music.
Yeah.
And what I really thought
Yeah.
was kind of my most personal album was a whole album against my family. It was it is so crazy.
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s, and you know, you really don't know things in the
Yeah.
early 20s. Your emotions are all over the place. You're judging what you got going on from what other people got going on. You're blaming your parents for like everything. But you
Yeah.
know, the decisions are your own. The decisions are your own, and it can be hard for people to understand that. And it's kind of crazy when people don't realize that. Yeah, like sometimes it's hard being
Yeah.
in a family full of like contradiction. And you know, and I know
Yeah.
certain people have like deeper family issues and addiction and a whole bunch of stuff, but even when you got everything, there's always like this kid that ends up growing up as the favorite, or somebody who's shunned, or you know, in
Yeah.
middle class or something like that. Somebody is always like a black sheep, and
Yeah.
some people really got to understand, like you know, like families are not perfect. They get perfect at a time
No.
that you do not believe you're even going to see. Like you do not, and it comes with age. You know, I'm at that age
Yeah.
right now that I'm like, believe it or not, Mickey, I got a lot of children, and some of them are older, and they have blamed me for their failures in their life, and I'm sitting here like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and
Yeah.
it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't guide you. I didn't do this. I didn't do any of that stuff. Like, yeah, of course I didn't, because
Yeah.
after a while, their society said that I need to back off and let you do what you want to do. So I did that. And then when I did that, now
Yeah.
I'm blamed for it. Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But you know.
No. No.
But anyways, as you can tell, some of the music is hitting me personally, which I'm sure
Yeah.
is an intention of a band, especially a group of guys that are getting stuff together. I've noticed that the band is kind of age difference, right? It almost like you got a little boy on the team. You got your older brother on the squad, uncles there, blah blah stuff like that. When did this start forming? Because I'm sure that kid was not like 8 years old when you started the band. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he was and playing guitar, because that's a whole different story. But when was the band started, and you know, what is the situation now? Was people, did they leave? Did they, you know, what was the situation in the history of the band, and how did you keep it up?
Well, it started out, I mean, our bass player, Mike Atkinson, you know, he's been playing bass for eons now, you know, for such a young age. He found his niche, he found his passion. So I was in the process of just applying to different adverts and stuff that, singer wanted, you know, just scattergunning my applications. And I turned up at this little rehearsal studio in a place called Newbury, which is sort of in the middle of the south of England. Did a few songs with these guys, did a few live sessions with them. And to cut a long story short, yeah, we fit the bill. It worked well together. And we started to get together a bit of a good list of cover songs, because that was our plan. Right, let's just play together. Let's get a load of cover songs together that we like, that we know are going to be liked, that are popular, and go from there. So me and Mike then split off from the original kind of cast list and decided, okay, we can bring in our own people that are going to be a lot closer to home, a lot more on our page. And funny enough, talking about playing Won't Back Down, like I said, that was one of the very, very first songs we ever wrote together, me and Mike. And then that aside, we then brought in some new people, a new guitarist, a second guitarist, a piano player, and the original drummer. So there was 3 of us, and we brought in a keyboard player and a second guitarist. And then from then, we just started to rack off these covers. We did cover gigs all over the place. All the while behind the scenes, we were writing our own stuff. We're beginning together some stories. We're beginning together working on that. We got to a point where we were really happy with some of these originals and started to play those in our cover set. We were asking the audience that knew us pretty well by then to look, we're writing our own stuff. Would you mind if we played some? And like, yeah, great, brilliant. And we started doing it, and it really started to flow. So then we made the transition. We got together a few songs. Right, let's record this EP. And then finding out that, pardon the pun, finding out that, it's a much different world between doing covers and doing originals, because it's a completely different set of rules. You go to different places, you play half an hour set, that's it sometimes. Whereas the covers, you've got an hour and a half to fill, at least. So we had to learn quick and learn the transition. And then it got to like 2017 and things were going a little bit stale. People had aspirations of doing, for example, Rob, the original drummer, wanted to do more photography. Paul he had plans to go and tour the South Hemisphere and stuff. So we parted ways, and then we got a new friend of ours in to start recording guitars for us. Wow. And then we carried on writing stuff. We carried on writing music. And then during COVID, we made the decision to advertise for a guitarist and a drummer, because we needed to, we've got loads of stuff. We want to carry on gigging. So that's when Simon came in. That's when Tom came in. Tom, as you said, he's a child. Well, he's not really. He's in his early 20s. And he is mature beyond his years. He really is. He is so talented. He's a tech guy now. He runs tech stuff. He runs sound and light for different productions as his main job, as well as drumming for us. But he also has history in theatre. I don't know if you guys have obviously you must know that the film and the stage of Oliver. Yeah. Please, sir, can I have some more? He was Oliver in a production, and I've known him since then. I've worked with him on stage as well. So wow, it was a no-brainer to say, Tom, we need a drummer. We've got some recording to do. If it goes well, yeah, we'd love to basically have you as our main drummer. And that's where it's come from. So, and they've worked so well. We've gone back. We recorded a lot of the earlier stuff from the first EP to update it, more energy, more attitude. Simon's a much more accomplished guitarist. He's got such a great range. He can do the soft stuff. He can do the melodic stuff and work with me, dovetailing with the vocals. And then you let him loose on a solo, as you've been hearing, hopefully, researching what we do. His solos sometimes are dangerous, because you can watch him soloing on stage in a gig and completely forget that I've actually got to start singing again. And Mike's the same on bass. It'll go dead apart from guitar. Oh, crap, I've got to start singing again. I've missed my cue. So
you get lost in the mix with everybody. You're a fan.
I mean,
you're a fan by then.
It's all. Yeah. So that's pretty much up to date now.
Big shout out to everybody listening. I appreciate that backstory. What's crazy is this band is about to hit a milestone of togetherness, especially the name. How do you find ways to encourage yourself? I know we started with Won't Back Down, and that story is basically saying, I'm not giving this up. This is where I feel like I'm good. But
Yeah.
where do you find it yourself? Because sometimes, I like getting up in the morning, but sometimes I don't want to get up in the morning. But I have to get up in the morning, right? Like this is something that feels like that because if you don't do it, then something feels empty, right? Like
Yeah.
what is that motivation for you to remain in such a crazy world? And I say that because I know what you guys are. I somewhat know what you guys are going through, with the exception of like, you guys get gigs, you guys know people. There's bands out there that just do music and don't go out there and don't represent themselves and don't brand themselves, and don't go through the
Yeah.
struggles. And you guys are going through the struggles and find some peace in it. What is that motivation?
I think we take cues from each other, because we're big music fans. There's probably a day doesn't go by where I'm not listening to a playlist or some new stuff. It all depends on. We have we have meetings online every week, 3 or 4 times a week sometimes, whatever it is. So, and we socialize with each other every day, and because we're big music fans. And we've got a cacophony of different venues all around us. Places like in England, we've got Reading. We've got places in Oxford. We've got London, of course, on the south coast. And there's a reason why the broader industry loves coming to the UK, because it's such an appreciative audience. But gone are the days where you have a number one band that you follow religiously. Now I grew up on Bon Jovi. My number one was Bon Jovi. My first concert was the Crossroad tour in 1994. I was hooked. I think that's when I decided I want to do this. I can do that. I can sing. I can, take my cues from that. But because we go and see a lot of music live, and we kind of think, oh, great. And you compare it to, well, yeah, when we're on stage, it's such a great feeling. So I think we're encouraged by seeing other live bands, encouraged by listening to big bands do covers, so they're broadening their horizons by doing that.
Yeah.
And we've got so much in the vault to work with and so many stories, and it's a case of when we do get on stage and we feel that buzz, and then we get in the studio together, and then we go through a set, and we have such fun in the studio. And it's never serious. We always do a good job. We always commit to ourselves. But yeah, the fact that you get a continuous buzz from being on stage and in the studio and recording stuff, even at home in our studios, it's really infectious. And like I said, as long as I can still sing to a good standard, I'm going to carry on doing it.
It's crazy, Mickey. I'm listening to you, and I'm like, you have the thing that motivates you is exactly that, where you have not separated yourself from the culture because you're involved in it, right? Some people do that.
Yeah.
They take themselves out of it because they don't believe like they're in competition or they're in this and they're in that. And they're like, you're still seeing bands, you're still going this, you're still introducing yourself to new music, you're still going in the studio, because you're still being influenced and inspired versus we got it already, we don't need any of you guys anymore, or something like that. And I'm saying it like that because that's what some people do. They just think, I got it, I don't need any more influences. And it's crazy because it's like it's almost like the cliche saying, students of the game, right? Where you constantly are learning new ways, new things, new that, and wow, and it just opened up my eyes a little bit, because I think that sometimes I have done it to myself, where I've taken myself out of the picture because I didn't want to be represented that way. In a way, I thought I was protecting myself, but in reality, I was. What am I protecting myself from? if I didn't learn what it was, right? So it's just something crazy. But anyways, thank you so much for that, Mickey. Thank you so much. Sorry, it's like I'm
Yeah.
like I'm there with you because I'm sitting there and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not cliche. This is not small answering questions of what our influence is and what keeps you going. It's not a damn it's not coffee. It's not coffee. Coffee's not the reason that you go to the studio. You go to the studio because you feel good
No.
there. You're learning from there.
Yeah.
You're with your buddies. Same goals type of thing. And and if we don't have the same goals that day, then it's still a learning thing because then you learn from that person on what days not to mess with. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm going off of that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So anyways, so the Julia set is the new singles are out, and I guess you're releasing new things coming up for 2026. What's going on with the Julia set?
Well, actually, we've just released a brand new EP. We've taken some of our previous singles, and as is sometimes the trend with a lot of older songs, is they remaster them and update them for current times. So remastered for 2015 or remastered for 2026, which is what we've done. We've actually gone back with some of our singles, and we've revamped pieces of those songs to give them extra little bits and pieces here and there. So to the untrained ear, it's going to be, oh wow, so this is a great new version. So to those of us them that do follow the songs, they'll be able to hear the old bit and what's new. Obviously the name of it is Jury's Out.
The Jury's Out is
now
a 4-track EP exclusive.
Yeah. So as the track list goes, we've got 4 songs on that one, which is the way it works. I mean, a company we're using is called Elastic Stage. And as far as they're concerned, 4 songs is an EP, 5 or more is an album. So, okay, we'll go with that. And it's funny how we came to that because Jury's Out doesn't really lend itself to any of our songs or any line in the song or any subject of a song, really. It's more of a broader theme with what we are as a band, as a brand. And I mean, as the theory goes and as the saying goes, as a phrase goes, in the arts, when you're creating something from your own personal stories, and you're doing it because you want to put it out into the public and you want to know what they think. You want interaction, you want thoughts and opinions. And as the saying goes, you're putting it out into the court of public opinion. So with the whole courtroom thing, court, Jury's Out. And actually, the artwork we did for that is in a place called Runnymede-on-Thames, which is near Windsor. And there's a monument called the Jurors. It's a set of 12 chairs. So the photo shoot was centered around these 12 chairs called Jury's Out. We're there on our own. So that's where the name comes from, Jury's Out. And there it is. Take it, use it. You can buy the vinyl, you can buy the CD, you can stream it on Bandcamp, which is the new version. We try and keep it localized and not too broad. We want to try and be a bit different and get on the coattails of vinyl being popular again for the last 12, 15 years. But yeah, again, as the name says, Jury's Out. What's your opinion? What's your verdict? Let us know. Please interact. We like to respond to most people that interact with us. You know what I mean? We absolutely love talking to the listeners and what they think. And, we don't really give ourselves a comparison. Oh, we sound like this band or sound like that band. No, it's not up to us anymore. It's what do you guys hear? What bands do you think?
I got the site up here for you guys. If you guys want to go, juliaset.com/music. Make sure you guys go check over there. That's and this is just me displaying it. That's the album art right there. The band's in the back chilling. The 4 big chairs right there. Shout out to those chairs though. Those chairs are like lovely. Here you can click on any one of these songs here, or if you see Bandcamp, Tidal, Spotify, Music, Apple Music, and Amazon Music, these are in on YouTube, all those places. You can, if you can become big fans, which you're probably going to be, vinyls or CD or digital download links are available at that page. Okay, my bad. I had to make sure that people understood that. And if you guys are listening on the podcast side, it will be available on the description of the podcast. And anybody that's listening live right now, the link is right there. Make sure you guys go follow them. So we have the juries out. You know, the whole little courthouse kind of situation that you got here. Won't Back Down. We did play that. I know there's a video out right now for No. And Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, these are gym workout songs. For those, I get in my feelings when I'm in the gym. So I'm listening to like you guys in the gym. The song No is like imprinted in my like hummings. Where did this song come from? It seems like a lot of like defense for these songs.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's that and Won't Back Down a similar to a certain point. I think Won't Back Down is more of a broader thing going on.
Yeah, so with generally, No, I have like double take with it. Like, is the song really called No? Is it? Yes, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are you saying no to? I'm like, bro, like almost everything is like, get out of my face.
Literally what it is, if you look at the artwork for it, it's literally, talk to the hand. That's what the artwork is, talk to the hand. You know what I mean? It's if you're gonna talk smack, it's not gonna work on me. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can talk me down whenever you want. You can demand what you want from me, but I am my own person. You're not going to get conformance out of me if it's not what I want. So no. You're not going to win this time. No, it's not going to turn out fine. And stick it where the sun don't shine, as is one of the lines in the song. So again, where that differs between Won't Back Down is this is much more of a...
Mickey is an angry man, people. I'm telling you, you gotta be an angry guy.
Not me.
I mean,
I didn't write these ones. These are Mike's lyrics.
These are Mike's. Oh, let's blame Mike. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's blame Mike. He's not here, so I can blame him.
So we have something here where I want to ask if, because obviously this is new ground for you when it comes to people that you've reached out to. We've been doing this for a very long time, and we do appreciate that you chose us. Now, for somebody who's listening to you guys for the first time, what track would you think they should start with?
Or if we're talking the new EP, I would say, there's a completely universal theme when it comes to this kind of thing, and it's a song Sunday. Okay, doesn't matter where you are in the world. Okay, for the most part, we have 5 days a week. We have the weekend, and I think there's an absolutely universal thought and feeling about the day of Sunday, because to us, it's split in two things. You get a lie in, and it's great. The feeling is great. You can stay in bed till 11, 10 o'clock in the morning, midday in the morning, nothing else to do. But there seems to be this universal threshold when your brain shifts from another day off, great, until your brain starts to go, oh, crap. Tomorrow's Monday, tomorrow's work again. What happens to the weekend sort of thing? So Sunday, definitely. I think Sunday's probably one of our most universal songs because it appeals to every single working person on the planet. Where it's a case of,
it's like the restart.
I think that feeling. Yeah, I think the day of Sunday itself, the feeling you get on a Sunday, it's definitely a universal thing. You know, I think everyone at one point in life has experienced that feeling on a Sunday afternoon, where it's the dread. You know, they've got to go to bed early, 9 o'clock in bed tonight because I'm up again at 6 a.m. for work. You know, the song literally depicts that transition. Despite its melodic and upbeat kind of riff and tone, the words and the story kind of suggest something else. So I think that the song can dovetail. You can still get a really good feeling from the sound, the riff, the melody, and you can still appreciate what the story's telling you.
I'm going to play a little bit of it from the music video that's available for you guys on YouTube. This is the Julia set Sunday on QSJRadio.com. Mickey, I'm looking at this video, and I'm like, I can't even do half of the things you did in that video, right? I can't do a twist. I can't extend my legs that far. I'm sitting here like my back is already hurting. Being the front man, you know you have such a responsibility to that, to that band, not only as what you're doing here for them, what you have to do on stage. Are there any stretches you do? Like, let me know, because I know you're about. I'm like
every day. You get to my age. I mean, I used to play football, or you guys would call soccer.
Don't worry, I know the difference.
Yeah, I used to be a goalkeeper, so.
Ooh.
So hence my slightly awkward disposition where I'm not quite fully all there brain-wise. So I have no shame. I don't get embarrassed by anything. So anything is fair game, to be fair. So when we're on stage, I mean, there's rituals and stuff. I'm a big coffee connoisseur. I love my coffee, and that's normally a mainstay with what I do on stage. I've always got a cup of coffee somewhere, whatever it is, make sure. Plus the fact with the caffeine, it does spark things in my brain where I'm a lot more articulate. I pronounce things better and stuff. So I'm very conscious of doing that in my songs when I'm singing. And more importantly, we call it spiel. So when you're talking to the audience, when you're in between songs and you've got to fill that gap, because you never know when you might have to do it a bit more than sometimes before. Whether Simon breaks a string or, there's a technical thing going on. So with you being on the air, you can't have dead air. That's the worst case scenario. So you've got to, But as for limbering up, do you know what I mean? I'm used to it. And sometimes afterwards, if I do feel it, getting to this age now, I mean, this year's my half century. So
man,
it's
congratulations.
I definitely feel it than I did 15 years ago. So,
yo, congratulations! Oh my God! So, off record. So if any little pain is like you feel like it's over, right? Like that. Trust me, it might not look like it, but I'm almost there. I'm telling you right now, like I'm 7 years behind you. Just put it like that. So
okay.
So I'm not too far. So, but good job. You're doing really good out there. You're doing really good for somebody your age. So, and you should know that. you know. So shout out to
Yeah.
that. If you guys are just tuning in, we're closing in on the Julia Set. Please go to juliaset.com for more information. Make sure you guys follow them all over the place on Instagram, all their social medias. Videos are all over the place. Subscribe. They got a lot of things coming up, especially this year. We're in spring, which usually means that you got a lot of gigs coming up. So what are we seeing you guys on festivals coming up soon? Or is this just going to be like an interview run? What's going on with the Julia Set, and where can we spot you?
Yeah, we've got a few bookings towards the middle of the summer, so July and August time, which tends to be, there's a lot of festivals kind of starting from kind of May normally, but they really bulk up between June, July, August, and sometimes September. So at the moment we've got a big festival coming up in August, which we did last year, called Cambridge Rocks. Now, Cambridge is sort of the eastern side of England. It's been going about 20 years, so we're going back again this year for that one. Now, funny enough, the video to Sunday, which you played, that was filmed in a place called the Great Barn, which is in a place called Harmondsworth, which is near Heathrow Airport, LHR. Everyone should know that one. And this Great Barn is celebrating 600 years of existence. And they've asked us to go back and as part of a mini festival to celebrate. So we're doing that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we've got a lot of interviews booked in because I'm actually in April, we're completely booked up, not with music, but Mike's going away for a holiday.
Okay.
And in the second half of April, as this would, I'm a newlywed. So we're going on our honeymoon in April. Yeah.
Newlywed.
So we're going on our honeymoon in April. So.
Oh my God! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh no
so yeah,
way!
We're off
It still works, Mickey. It still works. That's good.
Yeah.
It still works.
It most definitely does.
That's great. That's great. Oh my God! I blame it on water. Let's go. Congratulations, Mickey. And and that's really cool that everybody is still basically living a normal life. And
we try to,
yeah, and then that's really cool. 600 years of a barn, and I'm over here representing not even close to half of that age country. Oh my God, let me not get into that. But anyways, big shout out to Mickey Berry, frontman of the Julia Set. You can find them all over the place. Mickey, thank you so much for coming in here and letting us know about your guys' history. The album is, the EP. Let's make sure we get that right. Jury's Out is available on all platforms. And if you guys become a fan, go order the vinyl. Vinyl's here. It's not even like coming back.
Yes.
It's here. It's not coming back. It's here. People are collecting vinyls. Go ahead and do that. And if you guys want to check them out on the Bandcamp, make sure you guys, anybody that's just part of this community that I got, you should already be on Bandcamp, because definitely most of our guests are on there because it represents them. It's literally for them. They're not waiting on people.
Yeah.
Mickey, I got one question. I know you don't want to get too controversial, as people try to say. This world is bugging out right now, man. What do you hope what do you hope for the best of what's going on?
Well, as I touched on before, I was actually born in California. So, and I do have family in California and in Boston, Massachusetts. So we do get stories back and forth, but, I think from my own personal point of view, I hope things get sorted out in the right way, with the right people doing the right thing, to not sit on the fence too much. I mean, I'm not on the fence personally, but to keep it, as watered down as possible. And I won't strip into my American accent, which I can do quite a bit.
Jokes.
It's no, really, it comes and goes whenever I want. So it's, where it's from California or I go to Boston, talking to my stepmom. So therefore it comes in and I can switch. But no, look,
coffee.
Coffee, spelled with COI. Come on, coffee from New York City. No, it's. I really do hope that the world, the right people come to their senses and do the right thing, and things sort themselves out. And like I said, the right people do the right thing, without getting too deep in one side or the other. Do you know what I mean? So it's not my place to be. So I'm not that American citizen. I'm not that side of it and stuff. I'm not in the UK. We're not overly involved in it too much. So, let's the right people sort it out themselves, and hopefully the right people do the right thing. That's what it is. And our by all means, us guys in the UK, if you people and cousins across the pond want to have someone to talk to, I've always said on a personal level, if people are having troubles, my phone's always on. We're always open to talk to and stuff. Do you know what I mean? We will never put the phone down. We will never not talk to someone who wants to talk.
Definitely going to need a lot of those conversations, Mickey. I'm definitely going to. I'm going to hit you up, bro. I got to hit you up.
It's okay to not be okay.
Oh, my God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't be embarrassed about how you feel,
Yeah.
If you want to vent. Do you know what I mean? These ears are made for listening, so.
Mickey Barry, frontman of the Julia Set. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us. Jury's out. It's available for download. And I'm definitely going to hit you up about catching up about post-summer stuff, if that's okay. I'll hit you up. I want to know how this summer ended up for you guys, because it seems like it's going to be a doozy. It seems like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Mickey, thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Been a pleasure. Thanks, guys.